Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of Smile to Jannah. There have been vocal calls, especially here in the UK, to boycott Qatar in the World Cup, FIFA World Cup 2022. Well, my question is, where the heck have you guys been? If you boycott Qatar, the UK economy is gonna go down the toilet, mate. More so than it currently is.
To Jannah.
Because this is the same Qatar that this year has invested £10 billion in the UK economy. And not to mention, this same UK will be providing the security for this World Cup. Again, this year, Royalty accepted a £5 million donation to its charity from this alleged country that's violating human rights. In fact, in total, Qatar has invested £40 billion in UK's economy. And not to mention that they own major shares in companies like Barclays, yes, Barclays Bank, BA, British Airways, the aeroplane service of this very country, and Heathrow, the main airport in this country, and of course Sainsbury's. They own large swathes of the capital and iconic places like the Shard, Canary Wharf, Harrods, and the London Stock Exchange. And somebody who exemplified this point and has been going viral amongst the Muslims was Piers Morgan. Let's react to his video.
Piers, let's turn to football. We're 4 days away from the opening of the World Cup. David Baddiel told us that he's staying home. That his version of football is staying home. Gary Lineker,
David Baddiel, isn't he the same guy that supports Zionism? I mean, what's this selective outrage all of a sudden?
said he wouldn't receive Qatari money. He doesn't like the feel of it.
Oh,
I think the word Baddiel used
okay.
was reprehensible. Would you go to
Okay, Baddiel again. We're still talking about the same Baddiel.
Qatar? You excited about the games?
I'm going to Qatar. I'm doing some punditry for Fox for the America-England group stage.
And a lot of people were praising Piers Morgan, and he deserves praise for this. But bear in mind, his main crowd now is the right wing, yeah? That's why he's going via Fox, and that's what his talk show is aiming to please as well. So I mean, there's reasons why these people talk about certain things, but it doesn't take away from what he said.
My show airs in America and England, so why wouldn't I? And also, I've got to say, I find a lot of this sports washing debate laced with rank hypocrisy. I mean,
Yep.
in the end, I read a column last week in which I went through all the problems that all the countries in the last 32 have. And I mean, for example, 8 of the countries in the last 32, that's a quarter of the countries in the World Cup final, outlaw homosexuality. 1 in 4 countries. So if you're going to use that as the stick to beat Qatar with, you have to then beat the other 7 countries. You don't have a World Cup.
That's
And
a good point.
if you don't have it in Qatar, which is the first Middle Eastern country to have it, where do you have the World Cup? Do you go to Africa, where many countries it's illegal to be homosexual? Do you go there? So that rules out that continent. Do you go to America, which has rather draconian laws about abortion, which play very badly, for example, in the UK?
Amongst many other things, the fact that they've invaded 50 countries since World War II, interfered in 30 democracies, majority democracies. I mean, William Bloom enumerates them in a book called Killing Hope, amongst, of course, other things. I mean, torture. The Senate report 2014 suggests, inhumane torture that was taking place by America.
But once you start putting your moral halo on,
Right.
where does it stop? And who is morally clean enough to actually host a World Cup? Are we the country that illegally invaded Iraq, which then started a 20-year reign of terror by ISIS? Are we morally clean enough to host the World Cup? I just think it's fraught with hypocrisy.
So a lot of
He's right. I mean, the Iraq war was illegal, and because of that, ISIS was born. Not to mention that in the last 100 years, there hasn't been a single year in which the UK has not been part of a war or an invasion of some sort.
whataboutery there. Is that basically a big...
Whataboutery. So when somebody exposes your hypocrisy, it's whataboutery.
Whataboutery is fact.
Well, it's
Yeah.
a 2 fingers up to members of the LGBT community and presumably to the...
Yeah, 2 fingers up. Now, what about the 40 billion by Qatar. Oh, there's no two fingers there, mate. Shh, don't mention that. Yeah, because that's happening for the benefit of the country. If they take that 40 billion away, the UK is finished. There's already a cost of living crisis. Take that 40 billion away and it's finished, mate.
Thousands of migrant labourers that have died in the making of.
And that's bad, of course. If that's proven, that's ridiculous. And it should be investigated independently and legitimately.
Qatar in the last 10 years or so. I mean, is that a kind of like Piers Morgan doesn't really care about gay rights?
Would you ever go to the Middle East?
I haven't been for a while.
Oh, would you go to the Middle East? I haven't been for a while. Yep, would you go to the Middle East though, woman? Answer the goddamn question.
Would you go to the Middle East?
Okay, he's asked again.
I would.
Right.
Oh,
End
okay.
of debate.
Why is that the end of the debate?
Well, if you don't agree with what they do, don't go there.
Why is that the end of the
Well, I don't
debate?
think that's the same thing, is it?
Wait, I've ended up liking it. Alright, go on. Keep that light. Hang on a minute. Of course that's the end of the debate. You would go to Qatar. You wouldn't boycott it. He's going to Qatar. He's not boycotting it. End of debate, mate. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I just wanted to react to that because a lot of people have seen that and they are impressed. And I'm glad that videos like this are being circulated amongst the Muslims, amongst the brothers and sisters, so we're familiar with this hypocrisy and we're not deluded and living in some fairy tale world where we think that everything's going to be fine as long as we work hard. Okay, yeah, you got to work smart as well, yeah, realize where the disadvantages and then learn to play the game. Let's leave it there until next time. Assalamu alaikum.